I'm happy to go. So we think that's just absolutely inconsistent with the jury's verdict. I mean, the jury's verdict was resoundingly clear. There was no trafficking, there was no racketeering, everything was consensual, everything was adult, which is why he was convicted only of the prostitution offense. What we feel happened today was that the judge acted as a 13th juror, one that we did not choose, and that he second-guessed the jury's verdict.
I haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence.
Hold up. Let me say this again, because it still sounds crazy. There's a supposed memoir linked to Kim Porter, and people are using it to claim Sean Combs was involved in her death and tied to some secret operation.
All right. Well, Kim Porter, that is Diddy's ex, who's also the mother of his 3 of his children, has detailed the alleged abuse that she suffered at his hands. Oh, no. And this is all in a memoir.
But here's the twist. Her own kids are calling it fake. And it gets messier. The same people pushing this are saying the Federal Bureau of Investigation has all this evidence, but nothing has been released. No charges, no updates, nothing. So now everyone's stuck not knowing what to believe. You've got claims everywhere, the family shutting it down, and total silence from the government. That silence is what's making it feel off. Nobody fully buys it, but nobody can fully ignore it either. And the longer this drags on, the more uncomfortable it gets. Now here's the part that really matters. The kids. Because that's not something people can overlook. Kim Porter passed in 2018, and the official cause was lobar pneumonia.
Towards guilt. Now, on the racketeering, I agree with you that the predicate acts may be found, but that's not all they need. There's an ultimate question. The first question on the jury verdict form is, do you find him guilty or not guilty of racketeering? Before you even get to the predicate acts, which you only get to if you find guilt, they could just be hung up on that question and say, this guy's not Tony Soprano. I am not convinced that I even want to find guilt on.
Porter, who shares 3 children with Sean Diddy Combs, has been found.
Natural causes. No foul play. That's been the story from the start. And just recently, all 4 of her kids, Quincy, Christian, Jesse, and Delilah, came forward and made it clear. They said that memoir is fake and their mother did not write it. They didn't hold back either. They warned that anyone claiming to have a real manuscript is not telling the truth and is misrepresenting everything. They also told people to stop spreading false stories about Kim Porter. These are her kids, and they're saying straight up this did not come from her.
Kind of extortion that we heard when Cassie took the stand and testified on that airplane ride back from France. Diddy said, you don't do a freak-off, I'm going to release one of the freak-off videos that you are profiled in and humiliate you.
Participated in and said, if you don't participate in another freak-off when we get to New York, I'm gonna put this video out. I'm gonna send it to your mother.
And that's coercion.
She testified
if it's true.
to that.
If the jury
they believe her, that's coercion.
That's
would have.
You'd think that would shut it all down, but it didn't. Because somehow, a book called Kim's Lost Words still showed up on Amazon. It was published under a fake name and made serious claims about abuse and control, with some people comparing it to what Cassie Ventura later said about Sean Combs.
Years, 2 months in prison.
Wow.
He served a year. He gets some time. He gets 15% credit, so he'd be at 14-ish.
2.5 years.
2 months.
So, and then he gets another 15% in the remaining.
Yeah.
He's out in 2 years.
Yeah. Should have stuck with the original guess.
I know.
Yeah. Why
I know.
Wow.
Feds, Al Capone style, have not charged everything under the sun. They've charged 3 main charges: racketeering, trafficking, and the transport of a dude. And I'll tell you, I don't know about the racketeering charge. It's pretty sweeping, and I'll tell you what the general elements are.
The family acted fast. They reported it, and the book got removed. It was there, people saw it, and then it was gone. So the question isn't if it existed. It did. The real question is, can anything in it actually be trusted? And here's where it gets even more questionable. The person behind the book admitted to Rolling Stone they couldn't fully verify the manuscript. They said maybe 80% is true, or maybe none of it is, and still published it. That's not normal for something this serious. Then Courtney Burgess steps in, and things escalate fast. He claims he knew Kim Porter and says she gave him 8 tapes and 11 flash drives before she passed. He says those materials back up the memoir, and even go further. And it gets heavier. Burgess says he handed everything to the Federal Bureau of Investigation after being subpoenaed and even testified before a grand jury.
We think that a jury verdict should mean more than our jury's verdict seems to mean, and so we are planning to appeal.
So he put his hands on females, put his hands on producers, executives. That's just his. I guess that's what the whole name Bad Boy comes from. That people don't really understand. What is it? What is a bad boy? Why did he choose that name? Like he never really gave a clear definition of how he feels about that name. Not yet.
New York City, we are hearing Diddy's attorneys speaking to the media after he was sentenced earlier today. This is live.
Yeah, we are planning to appeal.
I want to hear them, bro.
We are planning to appeal. We think we have strong bases to appeal.
That's not just internet talk anymore. That's real legal territory. So either there's some truth here, or a lot of effort went into something completely false. But then boom, the other side shuts it down. Sean Combs' lawyers say those tapes don't even exist. So now you've got sworn claims, a federal process, and a full denial, all while the Federal Bureau of Investigation stays silent. No updates, no charges, nothing. At the same time, people remember that video. It's real. He addressed it and admitted that behavior. So the public already knows there was serious aggression. But legally, nothing happened because too much time had passed. And now, with Burgess saying the FBI has tapes and drives, there's still no action tied to it. Once people started connecting everything, it stopped feeling simple. Now it looks way more complicated. And even the family isn't fully aligned when it comes to Kim Porter's story. Take her father, Jake Porter. He saw that hotel footage and said it changed how he views Sean Combs. He admitted he never thought things went that far. He said his daughter's love was real, but questioned if Diddy even understands love. Then Roger Bonds added more. He claimed he saw Diddy get physical with Kim Porter multiple times and had to step in. That's serious. Now everything looks split. The kids say the memoir is fake, while her father raises doubts and a former insider claims abuse. And right in the middle, that memoir and those alleged tapes tied to a federal situation. Then it gets even heavier. Courtney Burgess claims those tapes include 8 people, 6 men, and 2 women. He also alleged 2 were underage and everyone was intoxicated and harmed. Those are very serious claims. At that point, people start asking, where are those details even coming from? Sean Combs' team is denying everything, but the Federal Bureau of Investigation still hasn't clarified anything. The subpoena happened, the grand jury happened, and still silence. If the tapes are fake, why did it go this far? And if they're real, this could be way bigger than one case. Either way, it doesn't sit right. Then you got claims similar to what Cassie Ventura described, with allegations of pressure and threats like, you don't do a freak-off. I'm going to release one of the freak-off videos that you are profiled in and humiliate you. That only adds more tension. Meanwhile, the civil side is getting louder. Tony Busby says he represents over 120 accusers. He claims many were underage at the time and says names will be revealed. Celebrities, banks, hotels, all of it. According to him, a moment is coming where people will be shocked by who was there, who saw it, and who stayed quiet. That's a big claim. And lawyers don't usually speak like that unless they think they can back it up. That's why this feels so heavy. Tony Busby isn't just anyone. He has a track record. Now everything is stacking up. The Federal Bureau of Investigation staying silent, the family divided, sworn testimony that disputed memoir, and over 100 accusers saying more is coming. Then the trial result added more confusion. Sean Combs was convicted on 2 counts and got 50 months, with release set for April 2028. But he was cleared on trafficking and racketeering, so there's a verdict, but not the full story. That's why civil accusers are still speaking up. They say the criminal case didn't cover everything. And it all comes back to one question. Does the FBI really have those tapes and drives that Courtney Burgess says came from Kim Porter? Because if they do, this could be way bigger. But if they don't, then this turns into one of the strangest distractions around the case. People are already debating it hard. Even with racketeering, proving some actions isn't enough. The jury still had to decide guilty or not, and they said not guilty. When you stack it all up, it's no wonder people are confused. Kim Porter's kids say the memoir is fake. Her father has doubts. A former guard claims abuse. A witness says he gave tapes to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The FBI isn't confirming anything. Sean Combs' team denies it all, and over 100 civil accusers are still waiting, with names possibly coming. That's why this story won't fade. Every answer brings more questions, and until the FBI speaks clearly, everyone's stuck guessing. It doesn't feel finished. It feels like we're still waiting for the next move. Now look at how it ended on paper. Sean Combs got 50 months in prison and a $500,000 fine, with release set for April 15th, 2028. But even that came with controversy. The judge reportedly considered conduct tied to charges he was cleared of, like trafficking and racketeering. Even though the jury said not guilty, parts of that still affected the sentence, and it's all in the record. Now his lawyers are fighting back at the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, calling it unlawful and unconstitutional. No final ruling yet, and it doesn't stop there. There are claims he's still trying to influence things while locked up. Authorities even say he poses ongoing risks, including obstruction. That keeps this whole situation far from over. And the appeal is still up in the air. The United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit heard arguments months ago, but there's still no decision. His team says the judge acted like a 13th juror by using conduct the jury already cleared. Prosecutors disagree. They say the sentence was fair, even below guidelines. So nothing is settled. He could serve all 50 months, get a reduction, or even a new sentencing hearing. That's why his team keeps pushing, saying the jury's verdict should carry more weight. Then there's that other ruling. A judge said there wasn't much reputation left to damage from a documentary. Not that it was true, just that the damage was already done, so the case couldn't move forward. That ruling wasn't a conviction, and it definitely wasn't some big win for the documentary either. But what it did do was something people can't ignore. It officially put the collapse of Sean Combs' public image into the federal record. That hits different. It's not about guilt or innocence in that moment. It's about how far things have shifted in the public eye. Now go back to those raids in March 2024. Homeland Security investigations showed up and searched his homes in Los Angeles and Miami. And what they reportedly found raised a lot of eyebrows. We're talking about 3 AR-15 rifles with defaced serial numbers. That alone is serious. Because when serial numbers are altered, it usually means someone didn't want those weapons traced back. That's not a small detail. That suggests intent to hide something. They also reportedly seized illegal substances and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil. And yeah, that last part turned into jokes online real quick. People ran with it. But once you step away from social media and really look at everything together, it's not funny at all. Because all of those items became part of the public record, and yet none of it was ever fully explained in a way that gave people real clarity. What makes it even more confusing is the timeline. Those raids happened over a year ago. Since then, there's been a trial, a conviction, and still no full explanation that ties everything together for the public. So people are left connecting dots on their own. Then you've got Al B. Sure, stepping back into the conversation. He's been vocal about wanting a deeper investigation into what happened to Kim Porter, and this isn't new for him. He's been raising concerns for a while now. As Quincy Brown's biological father, he's speaking from a personal place. He's made some serious claims too, saying her computer went missing, saying she was silenced before she could reveal what she knew. And while he's also called that memoir calculated fiction, he's still suggesting something bigger may have been going on behind the scenes. And now, with everything stacking up, the memoir controversy, those alleged tapes reportedly with the FBI, and even the family showing different perspectives, his words are hitting people in a whole new way. He's even gone as far as saying that Kim was taken from us because she was preparing to do what Cassie Ventura later did. That kind of claim really sits right on that line where people start questioning everything. But here's the thing. It's not coming from some random person online chasing attention. It's coming from someone with real ties to the family, making very direct and serious allegations. And that alone is what keeps people locked in and paying attention. Then another name enters the picture, April Lampros. She filed a lawsuit claiming that Sean Combs forced both her and Kim Porter into situations involving substances and intimate activity before she says he assaulted her. That's not some minor detail you can just brush off. That kind of claim pulls Porter directly into a much bigger pattern being described across multiple cases. According to Lampros, these incidents happened between 1995 and 2001. And in her version of events, Porter wasn't just watching from the outside. She describes a situation where Porter was present, but also under pressure and being controlled herself. Now, to be clear, these claims have not been proven in court, but they are officially part of the civil record now. And that's what makes this even more intense, because it connects Kim Porter to similar patterns that Cassie Ventura would later describe in her own situation. So, it's not just another accusation against Diddy anymore. It's something that places Porter inside the story in a way her children have strongly pushed back against. Meanwhile, this situation is still far from resolved, and Courtney Burgess hasn't gone quiet at all. He keeps doing interviews, and he keeps repeating the same very specific claims over and over. 8 tapes, 11 drives, 6 men, 2 women, 2 individuals described as underage, all allegedly intoxicated and harmed. He's not changing his story. On the other side, Sean Combs' legal team continues to deny everything, saying those tapes don't exist at all. But here's what people keep asking. If it's all completely false and that clear-cut, then why hasn't Burgess been hit with consequences like perjury? And that's what really has people scratching their heads right now. Why hasn't a judge just shut all of this down if it's supposedly baseless? Instead, those claims are still sitting there in the record. The subpoena is still part of the story. The grand jury testimony is still part of the story. And the Federal Bureau of Investigation is still not saying a single word publicly. At the same time, these obstruction claims aren't going away either. Prosecutors are alleging that Sean Combs has been using third parties to reach out to witnesses. They're saying there were efforts to influence things behind the scenes, including social media activity that could affect potential jurors. They even claim there were attempts to leak certain materials believed to help his case. These aren't random internet rumors. These are official claims laid out in court filings. That's serious. And according to those filings, this doesn't paint the picture of someone just sitting quietly waiting for release. It describes someone still pushing, still moving pieces, still trying to shape what happens next, even from inside a federal facility. That alone keeps the pressure on this entire situation. Then you hear people talk about past behavior, saying things like, he put his hands on females, put his hands on producers, executives. That's just what he was known for, tying it back to the whole bad boy image. Whether people agree or not, those kinds of statements keep adding fuel to the conversation. And look at where everything stands right now. Kim Porter's father still says that video made him question things. The former security guard still claims he witnessed abuse. The witness still insists he handed over evidence. Civil accusers are still waiting to reveal names. The appeal is still pending. The obstruction allegations are still unresolved. And the legal system delivered a result that didn't fully satisfy either side. Convicted, but not on the most serious charges. Sentenced, but with an appeal that could still change everything. In custody, but with claims he's still trying to operate behind the scenes. This situation hasn't gotten clearer over time. It's gotten bigger, messier, and harder to pin down. Reports out of New York City even show his attorney speaking out right after sentencing, trying to push their side of the story into the public. So now the real question is, are answers actually coming? Or are people just going to be left piecing this together on their own? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap in for more because this story is far from finished. Catch you in the next one.